Hello, my name is Whitney Johns. I'm here to talk to you today about being a loser. But really, it's about overcoming adversity when you bounce back, or how to bounce back from a failure, which is something that I'm having to do right now. It's great. It's great fun. Let me tell you about it. Okay, so essentially, the lead up to the fight, I was feeling super confident, super ready. Of course, when I first got my opponent, she's a lot bigger. She's really strong. It was an intimidating opponent and likely my toughest opponent in this entire tournament. And so I was definitely nervous about the fact that, like, crap, this is going to be my first fight with this opponent who's going to be a huge challenge. And I kind of knew going into it, like, okay, this might not go your way, but let's strengthen your confidence in every way that you can so you can hopefully beat her. And there's always that possibility, like a fight, there's a winner and there's a loser. That's just how it goes. There's no team effort. It's all on you, and it sucks if you're gonna lose. But it was one of those things where I was prepared for that outcome if it was going to happen. But of course, you don't want to think of that before the fight. So I went into the fight feeling super confident, and I had my doubts throughout fight week though, of waking up and being like, oh my God, what if I lose? And the amount of press that this tournament was getting and the amount of eyeballs on this tournament just added so much pressure. That night, it was a sold out Wembley Arena, 13,000 people in the arena, not to mention the millions of other people that were going to see the results through the pay-per-views, through the viral social media clips. It was going to be all eyes on you. So win or lose, all eyes on whatever was going to happen. And this is a fight. This isn't something that I do professionally. This isn't something that I have even been training long to do. I've trained in boxing for a long time, but I have never actually done fight-specific training until about 8-10 weeks before the fight. So really a novice, very much a novice. And most people's first fight is in amateurs in front of 50 people at the county fair. This just happened to be in front of millions. So it was a lot of pressure. It's about the highest pressure situation you can have for your first fight. And everybody told me, I had a lot of people around me, like professional fighters and MMA fighters, that basically told me, your first fight, a lot of the stuff that you're learning right now, it's gonna go out the window. Just know you have to roll with the punches literally, because it's not ever really what you expect. You never really know how you're going to react to the lights, the people, the arena, the pressure, and being in an actual fight. You can spar, you can practice, you can work on mitts and bags and train your ass off, but there's nothing like an actual fight, and you kind of never know how your nerves are going to react, right? So I kind of knew that going in and was thinking, well, we'll see. Let's try to just focus on staying as calm as possible in this really high pressure situation and just do your best. So the fight, it ended up starting out, I'm a very aggressive kind of forward. I like to come forward. I like to keep the pace pushing. That's just my style. That's always how it's been in training. That's always how it's been in sparring. Like, I like to come forward. The plan was to box smarter than her, move around her, tire her out, let her gas out, and then go in for the attack. But I think it was just the lights, the pressure, the excitement in the room. It was just like, let's go. You know, I got like kind of sucked into a brawl. And that was definitely her style. And, you know, it was interesting working with an opponent like that, because it was a lot of kind of just like looping hooks and not a ton of technique, which the sparring partners that I had were all like professionals of years and years and years. So it was a lot of very technical fighting and a lot of technical sparring. Well, this fight that we got into was not technical. It was a brawl. So it was sort of like, you know, I didn't keep myself calm and composed enough to stick to my game plan. I got sucked into her game plan and I lost. It went all 5 rounds. I got knocked down in the 4th round. I got right back up. I still fought hard the last round, and I lost by decision. It was one of those things where I was not about to quit, and nothing was going to stand in the way of me finishing that fight. Like, I didn't care how bad I was getting beat up. I was finishing that fight. Like, that's just how I work. But yeah, I took some shots. I took some hard shots. She's really strong, and it was kind of a lot to deal with, and a lot in the moment where you're just like, whoa, okay, you're sort of rattled. Like, how do you keep composed when you're literally getting beaten faced? So after the fight, there was a lot of hate and criticism and a lot of people chirping at just how bad I suck, what a loser, you got your ass beat, this and that. A lot of people don't really want to give you the credit for just getting in there, and for the fact that, like, this isn't my profession. This isn't what any of us are really trained to do. None of us are, all of us are novices. And so when I talk to my boyfriend, who's had over 50 professional fights, he always talks about how after you fight, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, you're going to get haters and people that are going to talk crap. Whether you win, lose, no matter what the result, they're going to talk crap. Okay, and that's for a professional. Now, multiply that by about 10x when you have just a social media following of just eyeballs of people that are just criticizing every move that you're making. And a lot of people don't like influencers. They're excited and waiting for an opportunity to hate on them, to belittle them, and that's just part of the game. There's a lot of eyeballs on it, so it's almost like what professional fighters get, and then an influencer tournament, it's like kind of like tenfold the amount of hate that comes in, which is hard to look at. And I had to finally just stop looking and like reading comments. And of course, she had knocked me down, where that knockdown, it was this viral clip that was like being posted. That was like the main clip that was posted from the fight, where I was kind of like, well, you didn't see the rest of the fight or how hard I fought. It kind of sucks. It's not fair, but that's how the internet works. It's like the most viral attention is usually the negative stuff. So of course, I felt like I was not getting any credit for how well I did, but I had so many other supporters who came out of the woodwork that were so sweet and kind and cheering me on and like, wow, you've literally inspired me to go do something that I was afraid to do, or to sign up to do a marathon, or to challenge myself. And wow, like, you're so brave to get in there. And just to do that takes a lot of courage. So I try to focus now more on the people that I'm helping inadvertently, or I'm hopefully inspiring them to do something that scares them and that's not easy, and to push themselves and to grow. But yeah, the hate that you get and the comments of just the ignorant bystanders that have no idea what it takes to go and step into a ring and have the courage to go do that in an arena that big, and your first fight at that, you have to just really shut that off. It can be hard, but hate is something that I'm not a stranger to, like being hated on the internet. I've been a public figure, and an entrepreneur, and I've failed and fallen on my face 100 times over the past decade in the public eye. So I have always dealt with haters. I've always dealt with naysayers. I've always dealt with people that were just clapping when I fail. But this just kind of took it to a whole nother level, because nobody's seen me get my ass beat on, social media, on the world stage. So it was definitely like, I've sort of been conditioned to that, but it's definitely been a lot. Well, I am super lucky that I have 2 more opportunities to show what I'm capable of in this boxing arena and this challenge that I've signed up for. A lot of people, they get their first fight, they'll lose, and then maybe it's a year before they can fight again. So I'm super fortunate to be able to like have another chance. And if anything, it's just motivating my fire and fueling my fire even more to do better, to train harder, to come back and win, to prove the naysayers wrong. Of like, yeah, I actually can do this, and I'm actually like, I'm decent, and I'm, I'm proud of myself. So I'm really lucky to have that opportunity. The next fight will be in July. But I do think that like one of the biggest pieces of advice that I've had to give to, say, my clients that sign up for my diet and workout programs, any time in life when you try to better yourself, to raise your standards, to make changes, to better your life or improve yourself as a person, you're going to come up against adversity. Life is going to hand us adversity. Life is going to punch you in the face, you know, figuratively and literally sometimes, in my case, where it's going to come out of nowhere. You're going to have to deal with failing. You're going to have to deal with challenges and obstacles, no matter what. And that's just how life is. And that is a sign that you're doing something that is going to allow you to grow and to get to the next level of who you are trying to become, of your ideal self, right? So I always try to tell people, no matter what, you're going to have adversity. And those are the actual opportunities for growth, to become a stronger, more resilient, more confident person. It sucks in the meantime. It feels like you're in this tunnel of like self-doubt and hell and just, you know, like discomfort. You know, anytime, like, growth happens outside of the comfort zone. That's just the facts. So yeah, it might be a struggle right now, but wait till I get through this. Like, the only way out of this struggle is through and pushing forward to the next. And then I'll be able to look back as a stronger person, as a more resilient person, as a more self-assured, confident person, and see all the blessings that the failure brought. I actually had a client and friend she's been a follower for a long time, and she reached out to me and she said, you know what? It's actually perfect that you lost the first one. It would have been too perfect if you won. And imagine like all the people that you can inspire with how you're going to deal with this hardship and this, you know, disappointment. It's even more powerful. So I'm trying to alchemize this opportunity for good within myself, and then hopefully helping others as well. And I think that that's the biggest thing to keep your mind on. Like, if anyone out there watching is going through a hard time, just remember that this is how you're going to get stronger, and this is what is going to fuel you. It is going to transform you. Like, adversity like this, you're going to go through a transformation as a person, but it's up to you what that transformation will become. It's up to you which direction you're going to go. Are you going to allow it to make you angry, discouraged, negative victim mindset and then just sink back and shrink back? Or are you going to make it a stronger, more powerful version of yourself, more humble version of yourself, that is not afraid to take on anything because you've been through way worse? So it's sort of up to you how you alchemize these challenges. But I do think that that's the biggest opportunity for growth. So in the end, my biggest thing is when I'm having a moment of feeling like sad and like embarrassed and just regretful of all the things. My biggest thing is I love to journal. I do a lot of like stream of consciousness writing. That's a big tool for me, just to get those thoughts out of your head and then purge them. I rip up the pages, you can burn them, whatever you need to do, just get it out of your mind so that it's not festering. And then, fighting is a very lonely journey. You have your team, you have your coaches, but nobody's getting in the ring. You're the one getting in the ring. It's on you. You're in there, you're fighting. You're the one that loses. You're the one that deals with all of the stuff. So it can feel very isolating. It can feel very lonely. So when you're going through that and you're feeling that isolation, it's really important to have your support system of the people that you can talk to, that don't judge you, that are proud of you. And that's the other thing, is remembering like the haters out there that are calling these shots from the sidelines and telling you all the ways you suck. Usually those are the ones that wouldn't celebrate you if you won anyways. If you won, they're not going to congratulate you. They're not going to give you compliments or props or the credit that you deserve. The haters are going to hate regardless of the outcome. They're just utilizing the opportunity to shit on you, right? The ones that are the people that are actually doing great things are never going to crap on you for trying something because they're already in a good place. They don't need to do that. The ones that are hating are the ones that are kind of going nowhere. So keeping that perspective and just knowing that if anything, the people that love you, they were going to love you regardless of whether you won, lost, fell on your face, failed, or not. So it does kind of teach you about who's really there for you, who's down for you, who has your back, and who's supportive of you. So it's another really good lesson. Another thing about losing sometimes and failing is like the ego death that comes along with that is really good for you. It's actually really, really good to have humbling experiences because sometimes we can get a little high and mighty or sometimes we need a reality check. And it's always good to have that. It just depends on how you're going to kind of work your way out of that. So the best thing that you can do if you're dealing with any kind of adversity right now is own it, take a look at the situation, see what you're responsible. How were you responsible for bringing this outcome into your life? Work on all the little things to help, turn that around so that you never have to feel this way again. Pour all your energy into developing yourself, that personal development to get better, stronger, and instead of putting your energy into all the regret and the negativity. And then just remember to embrace adversity. Go towards it. It is not to be feared, it is to be embraced, it is to be celebrated because in the end, you're just sharpening the saw. For the next fight, I have a much better match, I guess, as an opponent. Our styles work a lot better together. She's a little bit more of a technical boxer, so am I. She's a much better size for me than like my last opponent was it was not a good match. It was not a good matchup. So I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to this one. Plus, I really actually like this opponent. Like we have become kind of really friendly over the tournament. So the banter back and forth will be a lot more fun and lighthearted and we'll keep it funny and it doesn't have to be so serious and dramatic. That was another part of the whole experience that was really uncomfortable for me because I'm not really interested in like the whole mean girl energy. Like I don't have to hate you to still box you. So I think in general, the next fight is going to be such a fun opportunity to go in there and actually have fun and to show what I'm capable of doing. And so I'm really excited about it. I'm really looking forward to it. And I know that at the end of that experience, I'll look back to, these hard moments of feeling like a loser and being like, I'm so glad I went through that. I'm so glad. Now look how cool this next victory is going to be and how good that is going to feel. How much more rewarding is it going to feel coming back from that adversity? So I'm looking forward to that.